Have you ever wondered what secrets might be hiding behind a neighbor's friendly wave? Well, let's talk about a quiet, peaceful village in India, where one family was absolutely shattered by a string of sudden, mysterious deaths that went on for 14 years. This is a case that really proves the most terrifying monsters are the ones you'd never ever suspect.
Just let that sink in for a second. That quote from a neighbor, it just perfectly captures the chilling heart of this whole story. It's all about that horrifying gap between a friendly face and a deadly secret. And it all started in a small village called Koodathayi.
All right, so let's set the scene. We're in Koodathayi, this small, tight-knit village in Kerala, India. And at the very center of everything is a woman named Jolly Joseph. By all accounts, she was a model citizen, kind, polite, deeply religious, a beloved member of the community. But behind that gentle facade was a cold, calculating killer. And here's the core mystery of it all. Between 2002 and 2016, 6 members of the Thomas family, all of them connected to Jolly, passed away under really strange circumstances. For years, everybody just wrote it off as this unbelievable string of bad luck, a family plagued by tragedy. Now look at this timeline. The deaths weren't a single sudden event. They started way back in 2002 and just kept happening, one by one, for over a decade. This wasn't some crime of passion. No, this was a slow, methodical, and chillingly patient campaign of murder.
So let's break down how this all began. The first 3 deaths were, really carefully planned to look like natural causes or just unfortunate accidents. This allowed Jolly to slowly take over, to consolidate her power within the family, completely under the radar.
The whole thing kicked off in 2002. Jolly's mother-in-law, Anama, drank a bowl of soup that Jolly had served her. Just minutes later, she collapsed and died. And in a house full of family members, not a single person suspected a thing. Officially, the cause of death was ruled a heart attack, plain and simple. But the reality was, Jolly had just taken out the matriarch of the house, seizing control for herself. Step 1 was complete. Fast forward 6 years, her father-in-law, Tom Thomas, was next on the list. He died suddenly right after dinner. His death was also ruled a heart attack, and what do you know? Shortly after, Jolly whips out a will that gives her the entire family property. You can see her ambition just escalating here, can't you? It wasn't just about controlling the household anymore. Now it was about the assets, the wealth. With her father-in-law gone and a forged will in her hand, she had it all. By 2011, though, Jolly's own husband, Roy Thomas, was starting to become a problem. He was getting suspicious of her lies, especially this claim she had about being a professor at a prestigious institute, a job she never actually had. He started asking questions. And Roy's death, this is the one that almost exposed her. A postmortem was actually done, and for the very first time, they found cyanide. But incredibly, Jolly managed to convince everyone it was a suicide because of financial problems. She had silenced her husband and gotten away with it again. So, with her husband now gone, Jolly's focus shifted. She had a new man in her sights, a relative named Shaju. The only problem? He had a family. So she began methodically, and I mean methodically, clearing the path to her new life. First, she eliminated Roy's uncle, Matthew, who was asking just a few too many questions about that will. Then, she targeted Shaju's 2-year-old daughter, Alphine. Her death was dismissed as an accidental choking. And finally, she killed Shaju's wife, Sivli. Each one was just an obstacle, removed. And just 2 years, only 2 years after murdering Silly, Jolly married the grieving widower, Shaju. To the rest of the world, it just looked like 2 people finding comfort after a series of awful tragedies. But in reality, it was the final move in her horrifyingly successful plan. For years, all these secrets stayed buried, literally. But the story doesn't end there. The doubts that had been simmering for over a decade were just about to boil over, and it would lead to an investigation that would shock the entire country. Roy's brother, Rojo, who lived abroad, he just couldn't shake his suspicions. I mean, think about it. 6 deaths, 1 family. The pattern was just too perfect, too convenient for Jolly. His decision to finally act was the one thread that would unravel everything. So he goes back and looks at his brother Roy's post-mortem report, and he sees that key word, cyanide. This stuff is a lethal poison. It causes a swift, agonizing death by basically shutting down your body's ability to use oxygen. That one word changed everything.
Armed with that post-mortem report, Rojo filed a formal complaint. And in 2019, the police took this extraordinary step of exhuming several of the family members' bodies from the church cemetery. The case was finally, officially blown wide open. And what the investigation uncovered was just a story of profound deception. A woman who had played the part of a grieving wife, a loving mother, and a kind neighbor for years was about to be revealed as a cold-blooded serial killer.
Her method was terrifyingly simple. First, she got cyanide from a local goldsmith. Then, she'd mix it into everyday food and drinks. We're talking soup, medicine capsules, even a glass of whiskey. And then she would just calmly watch as her victims die, making sure the deaths looked like anything but murder.
And this was the true cost of her admission. 6 people. Her in-laws, her husband, an uncle, even a 2-year-old child. All murdered over the course of 14 years just to serve her own desires for control, property, and a new life.
Finally, in October 2019, Jolly Joseph's long reign of terror came to an end. The kind, God-fearing woman everyone in the village knew was arrested and charged with multiple counts of murder, leaving her entire community in absolute, stunned silence. You know, ultimately, the story of Jolly Joseph is so much more than just a true crime case. It's this chilling reminder that sometimes evil doesn't announce itself. It hides behind the most ordinary, the most unassuming, and even the most friendly faces. And it leaves us with this really deeply unsettling question, right? It's one that kind of lingers long after you know all the facts of the case. It just forces you to wonder about the masks people wear and the secrets they might be keeping right there in plain sight.